Hi everyone. Welcome to my channel, Turkish Series Stars. All the juicy details are coming up in today's video. If you enjoy it, please hit the like button and subscribe. You can also join our community by clicking the join button below. Thank you so much, and now, let's get into it. In a country where the private lives of actors are tracked with the same intensity as the series that make them famous, the afternoon when a startling condition rumored to be set by Yaman before taking the ultimate step with Demet Özdemir slipped into the press became a true plot twist in the saga of one of Turkey's most compelling pairs. What began as a calm day morphed into a storm of headlines and whispers. One leak was more than enough. In minutes, speculation flared, carried by curiosity, fascination, and the public's relentless drive to decode what had actually unfolded between these two stars. For years, Can and Demet were presented as the perfect match, dazzling chemistry on carpeted stages, careful tenderness away from interview lights, vacations never officially confirmed yet traced through clues, and a deliberate mystery that kept their fandom captivated. Still, behind that polished surface lay an old bruise. An uneasy memory that never quite faded, and over time, it hardened into the boundary that governs their relationship today. According to early chatter from a person said to be very close to the actor, the roots of this story sink into the quiet months when they stepped apart without press statements or confessions. In that pause, Demet leaned fully into professional momentum, fronting global campaigns, walking through major fashion collaborations, flying more than she slept. Can, staying true to his inward nature when it comes to non-work matters, slipped away on a reflective journey that took him to Spain. Those who know him describe long days of silence, early runs, barely any phone use, and an attempt to reconnect with who he was before the noise. What they didn't abandon, not for a second, was the thread between them. Officially separated, they still hovered in each other's mind. There were messages written and erased, playlists that brought back summer nights, photos that pressed on tender memories, and long stretches of quiet that somehow said more than any caption. Everything changed the night they ended up at the same charity gala without planning to meet. Cameras caught the looks they exchanged, deep, unguarded, and difficult to hide for two people who had worked so hard to keep separate paths. One charged glance was all it took to restart a spark that had never truly gone out. From that moment, whispers multiplied. They were said to be calling each other late at night. There were murmurs of quick escapes to Bodrum, secret dinners at places they believed no one would notice them, and careful arrivals minutes apart so as not to draw attention. Yet amid the cautious reconciliation, there was one subject Can refused to reopen. A wound linked to the period when their private life had been consumed by public exposure. The same old bruise, insistently pulsing, became the source of a pact, one that would define the second chapter of their story. During an intimate dinner in an Istanbul restaurant, the actor reportedly voiced the sentence now echoing across every outlet: if they were going to build a life together, it would require a promise that the line they once crossed would never be crossed again. The rule was uncomplicated on the surface yet profound in effect. It involved their digital lives, the relentless current of opinion, and the urgent necessity to defend their bond from the cacophony of social media. Can, exhausted by seeing every move turned into a debate, every silence treated as a statement, and every post transformed into evidence, drew a clear line. A future together, he allegedly said, only makes sense if both commit to guarding their love out of sight. No coy hints, no breadcrumb captions, no open door into their most fragile moments. Affection isn't made of likes or little hearts, he supposedly told her, with a firmness that surprised even those who consider him a calm, discreet soul. Demet, who for years navigated a profession where authenticity is measured in images and words shared with millions, understood that this wasn't a cage, it was shelter. She knows better than anyone how devastating it can be to exist under the constant glare of media takes, entertainment columns, and comments that masquerade as admiration but can cut like glass. To admit that the same exposure which elevated her could also be her softest point was an act of maturity that, according to people in her circle, reoriented the compass of her love life. What came after that conversation was a proposal that ignored the usual playbook. No glittering spectacle. No grand stage. No viral fireworks. According to the leak, the centerpiece was a handwritten letter from Can. In it, he traced the arc of their most difficult hours, arguments that outlasted the night, misread intentions, flights that ended in tears, reconciliations whispered in kitchens at dawn, and silences heavy with meaning. Between the lines, one sentence, later paraphrased and spread, seemed to win over even those outside the fandom. I want a love with no lenses in our faces, no lines to recite, and no audience waiting for a scene. Demet's answer, they say, matched his vulnerability. She offered a promise as intimate as a confession, that this time she would not let anyone wedge their story open, that this time she would protect the fragile, precious core they were rebuilding. From then on, both embraced discretion more thoroughly than ever. Rumors around a private ceremony abroad have grown louder, especially those pointing toward Tuscany's rolling hills, but they keep still. Some witnesses claim they've seen Can and Demet touring small country villages, searching for a place where vows could be said far from camera flashes and interruptions. In the meantime, reactions from fans have been intense and split. Many celebrate the emotional clarity, applauding the decision to choose peace over public display. Others grieve that the glow of seeing them side by side may dim now that they've chosen a life outside the spotlight. Yet those who know Demet closely insist that Can has become her anchor at a moment when professional demands were beginning to erode her calm. For the people who love her, he represents the steady ground she was yearning for. And on Can's side, friends say they've never seen him so resolute, so focused on preserving what he now labels as sacred. In recent weeks, both have trimmed their appearances to the bare minimum. They do not follow each other openly on social platforms, do not post photos together, and avoid giving digital hints that could expose their timeline. Even so, those who have crossed paths with them tell a different tale, two familiar figures quietly sharing a table in a low-key American cafe, departing from the same gym minutes apart, stretching out late breakfasts into sunlit afternoons. Their silent pact seems to have delivered what felt impossible to them for years: space, calm, and a story told at their own pace, independent of anyone else's narrative. Today, after the rises and falls, the unexpected disclosures, and the hush-hush reunions, it appears that Yaman and Demet Özdemir have arrived at a formula they can both live with: less volume, more sincerity. The rule that started as a boundary has become the architecture of their current love. A relationship unfolding far from the clatter, woven in pauses and glances only the two of them can fully interpret. So what do you make of it? Is Can right to shield their love from the public, even when their careers exist in the glare? Or do you think a couple whose lives are followed by so many should share more with those who support them? Tell us below, we read every comment. And don't forget to subscribe to Turkish series stars and support the channel with a like. If you'd like to become part of our exclusive community, tap join to help our work and unlock special content. Here at Turkish series stars, we track every heartbeat of the celebrity world, and this story? It's nowhere near finished. Are you ready for what's next? Thank you for watching. See you in the next video. Stay safe and goodbye.